Okay, now my sky has dried. To be honest, I think I should have left the area here above the figure even whiter and just made it even more softer and less this orange and purple mix. So that's what I'll do next time, make it even whiter here. So the next thing we're going to do is the grass and then this reflection. So what I'm going to use for this is I think I'll try and use my flat brush, and this is where I use some of my yellow and maybe over here and some green, and I'm just going to have a go and see what that looks like. Okay, then I'm going to add a touch of yellow ochre, that's too much, and a touch of blue, and that's a much more subtle blue. So then I'm going to add just pure yellow ochre, more or less, not completely. So I'm trying to get variety in this, and then maybe even pure yellow. And maybe my figure will have a white top. Maybe we'll go for that. Okay, quite like that, but I'm not sure if it is strong enough. So I'm going to make the whole thing stronger. Well, not the whole thing, because I want variety in this. And then yellow ochre. And then a kind of yellow and green. And then I'm going to get my spray bottle and spray it to keep it wet still and workable. And maybe this area is too much the same colour. It needs variety, so I'm going to add a touch of yellow ochre to it. There we go, that's better. And then maybe here, this also needs some colour and nice edge. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do are the bushes in the distance, and they're quite dark, so I'm going to take this green, add a touch of red to it, and then squish the brush like this, splay the hairs, and then you see how the hairs are, and then do that. Oh, and that's nice. And repeat like that. And getting that rough edge is so important. And the problem is the hairs come together, so you have to stop and do it again. You have to keep stopping and doing it again. Okay, there we go. And then maybe some small ones in the distance. Okay, and I've overdone it. And also it's too dark. So what I can do is get some yellow And then I can do this. I can just run some down like this. And I didn't intend to do this, but it might look quite good. You really have to be positive, optimistic, hopeful, and extremely opportunistic. You just have to look for the possibilities and then take advantage of them. Because it might not work this time, but it is going to work at some point. And can you see? That looks nice, and I didn't even plan to do that. And that's almost like a new technique. And then dark and dark mix, blue and red, and then stick that under here to get some darks. Well, I'm not sure if I should say it's a new technique, but it's a new idea to use in this picture. And then this is all drying out, so I want to put in my darks. And this is also a tricky thing because not too many. And as you go up, the darks get smaller in general. But at the front, they're like bigger. You got bigger darks and then they become smaller because of perspective. And then the fun stage, we get this liner brush and we do this. Okay. And that's okay, but it's not as good as I was hoping for. And I'm doing some splatter now. Okay, so next thing is the path. So wash out this brush. I've got 2 water containers, so I'm not always using this one. I've got a bigger one that I use. Okay, then I'm going to start with an orange, and then as I come down, I'm going to use a light grey, very light purple grey. And blend it in with this. It dried out a bit, which is a problem. And then as this comes down, it's going to get darker. And then keep coming down. And really, I could do with a bigger brush. And maybe the mop brush is better now because it holds more water. And so you can cover more areas. Well, holds more water, and so it holds more paint too. So I'm mixing all 3 colours, blue, red and yellow ochre. Not all, because we're using 4 in this painting, aren't we? Sorry. I'm still thinking I'm doing the paintings that use 3 colours only. Okay. And hopefully you can see how it's really dark at the bottom. Really dark. Okay. And then I'm going to do some shadows, reflections I mean. So make a really strong mix, blue, red and yellow ochre, and then here we go. Ooh, well, let's just go for it. Go a bit crazy. Have some fun. And then our figure, shadow, not shadow, why do I keep saying shadow? Reflection. Reflection of him. And then we've got a tree here. And then one here. Ooh, wow. That's a bit too much, but there we go. And then spray it. And hopefully we get a lovely texture. It's not too bad. But you do go through these feelings of like disappointment, like, oh no, I've messed it up, and you just have to really be hopeful. Like even this reflection, I did it too soon and it's expanded too much, but there you go. And there's not a lot I can do to correct that, but it's still fairly okay, and I could make this figure a tiny bit bigger. Okay, and one more thing I can do is with my liner brush is a few lines across like this. It might look interesting. Okay. And then we've got paint pooling up at the bottom. So you get some tissue, fold it, and then we just clean up, take up this excess water. Ooh, wow. And it doesn't matter if you do that like I did, like you go up too high and you remove paint there, because it will run down and it will cover that up. I think I might do this bottom bit even stronger. I'm using the wrong brush. Should use the mop brush, not this small bamboo brush, but there you go. Pretty good, pretty good. I haven't quite, I haven't gotten the grass quite right. It's passable. I want some light watery lines, but my timing was not quite right. Oh, got big blobs of water there. You really have to time this right. But I think it's convincing. Okay. Yeah, so let's leave that to dry.